Hey, if you're watching this video, that means that you are probably interested in holding a strategic sharing panel during one of your upcoming conferences, events, or professional development seminars. Or it's also possible that you are one of the lucky people who's been chosen to share during an upcoming strategic sharing panel. I wanted to make this video specifically for all of you because I get a lot of questions all the time about what a strategic sharing panel is, why it's important and the impact that it has, and how it's actually going to play out when we get on stage and are interacting with me as the host and you as the panelist, or as your constituents as the panelists. My name is Travis Lloyd, and I'm an inspirational keynote speaker who's built my brand on strategically sharing my story with the goal of influencing systemic change in organizations, educational systems, and corporations all over the world. While I love what I do and I love getting on stage and performing and inspiring and getting everyone worked up and ready to learn before a conference or excited to engage and get back out into their work life after a conference, I've found that sometimes it's really easy to allow things to slip from your mind or slip from your hearts or slip from your souls after you have that type of experience, unless you have very specific, tangible things that you can take away and work on. The way that we really start to create change and create the opportunity for making a difference, or what I like to call fostering change that matters, is to listen to everybody. And what better way to do that than hearing the good, bad, and otherwise during a conference where everybody in an organization is all together at the same time. The strategic sharing panel is something that I facilitate. I'm on stage with the panelists the entire time, and I do it in a way that's engaging, more focused on a conversation where I'm engaging with them in a way that makes them feel comfortable, that empowers them, that makes them feel like their voice matters, and then helping them walk through a series of questions where I don't leave them hanging, but instead I kind of coach them along the entire way. And the 4 questions that I generally use starts with, who are you today? And what are your dreams, goals, and aspirations? The reason being is because so often when we get in front of an audience and there's panelists up there, they're perceived to be either an expert, a delinquent, or just a standard worker, based on who what they're doing right now within that organization. And so I like to bring out the reality of their humanness. Who are they today and what are their dreams, goals, and aspirations, is able to give the audience an idea of just what they are as people, right? And take away some of the stigmatization. The second question that I follow up with is, what is your journey in this system or organization? If it's a corporation, we talk about what has been your journey through experiencing life as an employee or life as a service recipient. If it's a child welfare or mental health agency, what has led to you receiving services from these agencies, and where have you come since then, right? Just getting the real nitty-gritty story out there. And then the third question is, what are some of the positive experiences that you've had that have helped you work towards achieving your dreams, goals, and aspirations that you shared with us earlier, right? And that gives us an opportunity to re-inspire the audience. So the people who have already been doing those good things, they can be reaffirmed and say, oh, yes, that's the type of thing that I do. And the people who are missing the mark, they have the opportunity to self-reflect in the middle of an audience, alone, silently to themselves, and say, oh, I see how I could do that better, right? Because that person just said that's a really positive experience for them, and I haven't done that for somebody. Now I can, because I know that that's important, right? But the final question and the most impactful question is, what's one example of when this organization or system failed you? And tell us about, how that happened and how it made you feel without using names.
Reflection.
Yeah.
Important.
And so they're able to share an experience that was just really negative for them but with the intention of helping people understand how to prevent those negative situations from happening in the future,
Going forward.
right? And oftentimes event planners who are initially talking to me about this, like maybe it's their CEO or just their dedicated event planner or the assistant to the CEO, and they're like, I don't know if we should incorporate that question. Maybe we shouldn't end on that question because I don't want to make it a negative vibe. And what I've found through the years, I've done these all over the country, actually now internationally. And
Good for you.
yeah, right? I'm
Good for you.
super excited to be able to say that. But what I found is if we end a panel on a high note, it doesn't leave enough opportunity for that self-reflection to create questions during the Q&A.
And action.
Right?
Most
Because we end the panel and then we open for a Q&A and we have people running mics, and there's always good questions that are related to ways to improve the negative outcomes and prevent them in the future.
I love that. I love every single one of those segments because it really challenges, I think, who we are as people and why we're put here in the first place.